Welcome to Research Business Daily Report, where market researchers come for news, insights, and commentary about the market research field, and we will turn around and provide knowledge and assorted other valuable information and insights that impacts them both inside and outside their current place of employment. On RBDR today, OdinText issued what I thought was a rather odd and ballsy comment days before the recent French presidential election, to wit, that the big underdog, Marine Le Pen, could win the election. Well, she didn't really come close, but I decided to look into the real prospects for text analytics after looking at the whole situation. And we will talk about its potential use in pre-election polling. RBDR is sponsored today and this week by RFL's Video Testimonial Service, an offering that combines the effectiveness of video and the power of a top customer's perspectives, bringing your company's top product experiences to life in a way that other methods simply cannot. You tell us about a customer whose problem you've helped solve, and we'll use our 23 years of research industry experience to speak with that loyal, satisfied customer and then present their positive experiences in a highly compelling way. Video testimonials have been shown to have much more hard-hitting effectiveness than any kind of case history, and case histories tend to predominate on most websites. And that means a video testimonial will bring you bigger revenues and profits. And what's more important than that? Nothing. We'll tailor your customer video testimonial to your exacting needs, because every customer has something a little bit different. And we'll give you multiple deliverables in varying lengths that have been proven to have the highest impact in the most dynamic campaigns. We can discuss your situation and spell out how your organization can benefit from our service if you'll email me at rflbob@gmail.com or call me at 847-673-6284. Several days before the French presidential election, OdinText put out a release that stated that its text analytics work had oddly found that Marine Le Pen, a candidate trailing by 25 points in the polls, but very, very controversial in a Donald Trump-like way, had a legitimate chance of winning. Now, after the surprising vote for Brexit and for Trump, anything might be electorally possible. Of course, Emmanuel Macron did beat Le Pen handily, but it did lead me to wonder about text analytics and how it might fit into the pre-election polling landscape. So we invited OdinText President Tom Anderson to explain things.
I want to talk about text analytics as a pre-election, polling tool. Why do you believe that it has a place?
Well, it's the only thing you can really act on. Polling is just a guess at a specific number. In this case, it was off quite a bit further than the statistical margin of error. So while she won, the pollsters were off. But anything is up for happening at the last ends in these days. You can see that obviously in the Trump-Clinton election. We saw it again. And text analytics shows that what pieces are there, the strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats, for both sides to position and try to reposition not just their own brand, but their competitor's brand.
Okay. Why do you consider candidates to be the same thing as a brand?
Both are treated the same way. You try to position your brand as being positive on the issues that are most important for the voters or the customers. And in the case of politics, you also position the opposition brand as being less favorable. So it's critical to understand a complete swath of the market, of the marketplace.
Okay. Are you trying to get at emotion, or is it more than that?
Well, it's both the explicit issues that they stand for, positive or negative, and yeah, certainly we're looking at emotion. In this case, anger, fear, and anxiety, very important.
What have you learned from the few elections now that you have studied and have used text analytics to try to determine what was going to happen? What are you learning? What are you changing? What are you refining?
Well, this technique is not just used for polling, it's used for brand positioning for brands. It's used to understand campaign issues, marketing campaigns, down to a single word. How is a certain word? What meaning does it have with the consumers, positive or negative or emotionally? And so if we've learned anything, we've learned the importance of asking the right question. One single open end and allowing customers to say in their own words what's important. No amount of Likert scale battery questions can even come close in predicting actual outcomes. And so, but it's about asking the right question. The nice thing about the approach is because it's only one question, it's very fast and inexpensive to do. So you can iterate and you can get the data back, quickly see what looks like, and then ask another question. So we're using Google surveys in this case, something Nate Silver talked a lot about, very inexpensive, fast, runs in 10 countries around the world.
Okay, now I would assume that you consider what you're doing to have a leg up on polling, because more and more people now realize that polling is really a snapshot in time. And you are, I think, looking at your work as much more than that, because people's attitudes about what they think and what they feel about a brand / candidate is not going to change radically over the course of a couple of weeks.
Exactly. So the strategic perspective is far more important, and it takes longer to move your competitor's brand or your brand. That said, obviously things can still change in as little as 2 weeks if radical news comes out through hacking or anything like that. So politics is an animal of its own, but certainly brands are much slower to evolve.
How big a sample do you need, Tom, in order to be comfortable that your text analytics work is spot on?
We've been using samples of 1,500, which are very nice.
Okay. And is it embarrassing to you that you predicted that Le Pen really had a legitimate chance of winning the election?
It's sort of like a sniper trying to hit the center of a target if you're a pollster. They happen to miss quite far in the other direction this time. They happened to predict the right winner, but their numbers were far off from this significant margin of error. But both camps knew that was possible. We saw those kind of things happening in the U.S. election just a week before the election. So, and of course, it happened again. So, bad things entering. What our approach allows you to do is to see the context that those pollsters totally miss with their simple question. And of course, the two together are useful, but you can do far more with the results from a text analytics poll where you understand different groups' emotions. You can cut it by gender, geography, and so forth, and understand where the problem issues lie and where the positive opportunities lie.
Okay, two last questions. Number one, you talked about 1,500 being the big enough size sample. How long does it take you to collect that?
In these cases, usually 3 days. It's in field.
Okay. And finally, would you see or could you contemplate a pollster trying to integrate the polling work that they're doing with the kind of text analytics work that you're doing?
Oh, absolutely. We're just showing in these blog posts how much you can do with just a single open-ended question. But of course, most of our users, the beauty of our approach is that it integrates so well and marries structured and unstructured data. So the two.
That's your Research Business Daily Report. We hope you have a great research day, and we hope that you'll join us back here tomorrow.